Hello, welcome to the Script Mistress podcast, where we dive into the world of screenwriting. I'm your host, Amber Bosworth, and in this episode, I have another interview for you. This time, I got to sit down with the winner of October's Short Screenwriting Challenge, Steve Rodgers. That might sound a little familiar because I've interviewed him before, so I'm very excited about this interview. I know it's December, but November, we did have our short feature challenge, which is really great. So the writers actually had a challenge to write 30 to 60 page script for the whole month of November. So this one's a little overdue, and Steve was busy writing for that one too. So I can't wait to read his submission. So to keep yourself informed about my podcasts, events, and challenges, make sure to get on that email list at thescriptmistress.com. Additionally, you can find this entire episode on its own little page at thescriptmistress.com/scene 49. Yes, where you'll also discover a delightful download, same one I've kind of been peddling for you guys, but I'll also have that there for you. And this whole episode is also on my YouTube channel. You can watch it there as well. Just many, many ways that you can catch this episode. And I'll have the link to that in my show notes and on the webpage. Now, Steve is the first writer, since I relaunched the Ink to Screen Screenwriting Challenge in September of 2022, he has won it for the second time. That is so great. You might remember he won it a few months back, and I had the immense pleasure of interviewing him then. So I had to come up with a couple of new interview questions to kind of revitalize that. So it's a little bit of a shorter interview, and I really hope you'll like it. Just a little reminder, October was a fun month. I actually gave my writers 4 separate prompts. They only had to choose one prompt, but many of the writers decided to really up their game and use more than one prompt. And Steve was no exception. I believe he used all 4 of them, which was amazing. He wrote, the title of that was Writer's Block. The logline, a struggling writer realizes he is not alone on Halloween night and that his ending may already be written. An amazing logline, an amazing story, and I can't wait for you guys to hear the interview and read his story. So let's hear him talk all about it. Thank you. Into it then.
Sure.
All right. So I am here with Steve Rodgers, who won the October challenge, where we had a fun prompt with all kind of spooky things or not so spooky, depending on how you looked at it. So go ahead, Steve. Tell us a little bit about your winning script.
Sure. I knew that I've always wanted to write a circular story. I thought that would be really fun to see if I could actually do it. And then when I got the prompts, the first one that I was drawn to was the house. Um, and I just started thinking, hey, what if there's a ghost in the tower? And so went with that original idea and came up with the story of a writer out in the middle of nowhere trying to write his next book, and the mystery unfolds of who's in the house with him.
Yes, yes. So won't give too much away. Everybody can definitely go read Steve's script. I have it at thescriptmistress.com/ink winners. I'll have that all ready for everybody by the time this hits. So people will be able to really get in there. And I loved your log line. If people haven't seen that, the writer's block is the title, and the log line, a struggling writer realizes he is not alone on Halloween night and that his ending may already be written. That's great. I love that. So, did you use more than just the one prompt?
I used all of them.
Yes, that's right. I forget.
Yeah.
Everybody was so great with this. So, everybody listening, I gave people a choice of 4. They only had to have one, but so many of you guys at least had 2 or 3 in there, and it was so great. So your favorite was the house, the spooky house.
Definitely is what drew me to the story. It's what got it flowing. But yeah, all of them, it just felt like such a theme to me. It was very easy and fun to just make this little world out of all 4 of those pictures.
Yes, that's really great. And I think even in my comments back to you, I said it felt a little bit like The Prestige. Kind of something like that. It was pretty cool with a little extra in there without giving it away. So Everybody, this is Steve's second win with Ink to Screen Short Screenwriting Challenge. So, since the last time we saw you, has your process changed at all since your last win? Have you found it easier to kind of do it, or?
Uh, I don't know that it's changed so much. I've definitely picked up the pace. So obviously November we did the long form writing, but in October I ended up helping out. Whoops, sorry.
That's okay.
Um, I ended up helping out on a 48-hour film project with Anson.
Nice.
So I did some music for that, and yeah. So I've just kind of stayed in the world a lot better than just doing the one monthly thing. So yeah, I just feel like I'm in it right now,
That's
creatively.
that's awesome. Do you feel that like that helps by keeping immersed in it with your
Oh,
writing?
definitely. Yeah. Now I will say I took a month off from everything after the win last time. And sometimes that helps too. Like I guess it's all just about how you're feeling in the creative process and whether you feel like you've got it to give in the moment, you know?
Yes. I think I tell I think I tell a lot of people like it's good to kind of have that downtime too, like to kind of regenerate or recharge, I guess is a better word there for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that was another thing I was going to tell if people don't know, we just wrapped that first ever short feature screenplay where people got to write a 30 to 60 page. And Steve, you were in it. I can't wait to read that. But how was writing a script? I mean, going from 5 pages, but from 30 to 60 pages. How was that?
Terrifying. uh, so I, I knew that I was either going to underwrite, trying to keep to a format, or I was just going to start rambling um, because I felt like I had so much more room. So that was definitely difficult. But I will say that writing the circular story for the October challenge was kind of my way of also trying to make sure that when I wrote the longer script, I could keep track of everything that was going on. Yeah, because the longer scripts, that's the one thing I notice most is that you gotta account for everything. Yeah, you gotta find those plot holes and find a reason that they're not plot holes.
Yes, exactly. I think it's a lot more babysitting and a
Yeah,
lot more accountability for your story. And I think that's why maybe doing it in the 30 days was so good because you were in it, like you didn't take breaks from it and like, oh, so I can't wait to read everybody's script that's submitted. So I'm really excited about that. So what was your biggest challenge with writing the short screenplay, the writer's block? What was your greatest challenge writing that one?
um, I would say just the fact that it was a circular story. Honestly, I've said it before. Horror is kind of what I love to do. So as soon as I saw the prompts, I got really excited, and having that sort of excitement just kind of makes the whole process easier. But once I decided it was going to be circular, yeah, it was a lot of going back and making sure, okay, well, if this is happening, why can't this happen? And just making sure that if you reread that script, it all still makes sense.
Yes, like knowing the ending. That's kind of how movies work too. Like now you've seen it, you go back or read it, now you go back and it's like, "Oh, okay, but that doesn't make sense now," or, so that's really important. I think you did, like I said, well, you won, so I think you did a really great job at maintaining that. I think it really worked for at least the 5 page for sure. Do you have like a favorite kind of piece of dialogue in there or a particular part that you really were like, yes?
I I love the reveal at the front door, the climax. I think that's hopefully not something anyone would expect.
Mm-mm.
But I also love the dialogue in the kitchen when he's freaking out and trying to find a knife.
Yeah.
That was fun to write as well.
Yeah, that's good. I just love that sometimes I think in everything that we write, there's like that one piece or really, oh God, I really like that. And you hope you never have to cut it or shorten
Yeah.
it or make it less than what you see in your head. So that's really good. So are there any like, broader picture, any films or TV shows that really influence your writing style or themes in your screenwriting?
I definitely would say so. It's funny that you bring up the Prestige because Christopher Nolan has always been one of my favorite storytellers,
Yes.
obviously. Um, Other than that, no, I'm a pretty big cinephile, so I watch quite a few movies, maybe too many, but um, yeah, I just like the sort of storytelling that always has an emotional punch and has an air of like mystery to it.
Yes. Yes. Something that really kind of gets you thinking,
Yeah,
and isn't predictable. That's so hard. I mean, I
yeah,
think anymore, I think that's the hardest thing to do where I mean with my significant other next to me always predicting me and I'm like just stop. I know too. But you don't need to tell me. It's okay.
yeah,
But when you find those ones that you just like, oh God, I didn't see that coming, that really I think that sticks with people more than like any kind of emotion or forced kind of
yeah,
thing there. I think that's the biggest thing. Like it's so hard to be surprised. We're such cynics.
yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a great thing. I really liked that. So I know you love horror. That's
Mhm.
great. You like to that's where you feel the comfort. Is there a particular genre that you have yet to try but are maybe interested in exploring in the future?
I don't know that I don't know that there's a genre I haven't tried. I've tried to incorporate most genres into my scripts.
Mhm.
So I've written to the romantic angle and tried to put comedy in some. I wrote a script about beating up Anson for telling me how to write a
I
script.
I loved that. That was like, oh my God. I think that was one of my favorites. I loved that one. Yeah.
uh, yeah, so I think I play with a lot of different genres. Well, I will say this: one day I would like to write a musical, since I'm also very much into the musical side of things.
Mm.
That would be fun to try to do well.
Yeah. Yeah. That would be difficult. Lyrics. Yeah. I love people that can do that. We need musicals. I think it's such a underrated version or people just kind of turn it into a farce
Yeah.
or yeah so I think doing it right and doing it well I think is really cool. But on that same vein, like what's a genre that you're just like nah, I tried but I just don't like it.
Um, Definitely just straight up romance.
Mm.
Romantic. Well, romantic comedies are some of my favorite movies. So, yeah, I don't think I could just do a straight up like tearjerker romance. That doesn't interest me. So
Yeah, yeah. I get that. I get that. I think even me, like something I have to have elements of comedy in there or stuff. But yeah, I think you do really good. Like even just the horror. I didn't even think like this writer's block wasn't necessarily horror. I felt it was more of a mystery where that was really good. And I always commend people that can do that because the mystery for me or thrillers are just those are difficult.
yeah.
Those yeah, those like I said, like not predicting the ending and taking that scare or that surprise away. So, are there any like new tips that you would like to give out to aspiring screenwriters or anybody just like wanting to dabble a little bit?
Um, I can say, let me. I For some reason my mind is blanking.
That's okay.
But I had started using Final Draft
Oh,
as my screenwriting software, and not to try to plug it because it is kind of expensive, but it is incredible compared to the free software I was using. Just life changing
yeah.
almost when you're trying to write. So definitely, I think the biggest thing I've learned is even if you don't go with something like Final Draft, if you can find the best software out there for you, it
Mhm.
makes the writing process much easier.
Yes, I think that is such a smart investment for writers because it really does help and I think it takes away some of that like oh is this right and it's just a tool that really helps you and with that too. So and again what has been the favorite part of writing for our short screenplay challenges?
Same thing. Looking at the prompts, getting either extremely mad or extremely happy, and and going from there. You can write based off of either of those emotions, so there's always something to say.
Yes, yes, there is. Absolutely. And is there anything new coming up?
Yeah, so like I said, I was part of a 48-hour film production. That one's
Mhm.
already online. If anyone wanted to look it up, it's a short film called The Real Deal.
Oh, the real
Um,
deal. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, because you and Anson.
yeah. Anson actually wrote the script for that one, and I provided some music for it. Um, and then yeah, Anson and I actually just collaborated on a script last night for another 48-hour film project. So that one will take a while, but it'll come out eventually.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So I'll get that link for you and put it in the little
Cool.
notes for people if they want to check that out. It's always great to kind of see things that are, produced, and I think that's the greatest achievement as screenwriters. We want to see that, produced in some
Oh
way or
yeah,
performed. Or
yeah,
giving it over and seeing it created, I think is the best. That I think the biggest sense of accomplishment, right?
yeah.
Is seeing the work like, okay, I got this. We're
It's
doing it.
pretty cool. Yeah, I have to say, it's when you get to see anything that you write or create on the screen anywhere,
Hmm.
that nothing beats it.
No, no, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Yeah. Yeah, I really had a lot of fun sitting with Steve, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Again, I know I said it several times in the interview, but you can read all of his amazing work with the other writers at thescriptmistress.com/ink winners. And I have every single script listed there since we started this in September of 2022. I don't have the older scripts in there right now. I did change my website from then. So the writing action again, I feel like you really want to end this year. I mean, it's December of 2023. So really end this year strong. Dive into a month of creativity with my free screenwriting prompts PDF. It is perfect for both budding and seasoned writers. This guide offers a diverse array of challenges to hone your craft, from character development to gripping climaxes. I've got you covered each week. There are 5 weeks in there, so not just 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Week 1, breathe life into your characters. Week 2, elevate the drama with conflict and tension. Week 3, paint your world with setting and atmosphere. Week 4, sharpen your dialogue and enrich relationships. Week 5, tie it all together with theme and resolution. Download that now and start the journey to screenwriting success and really set yourself up for the new year. You never know. You can get that at thescriptmistress.com/screenwriting prompts with an S, or simply just get it on the page of this episode, sorry, scene 49. And feel free to share some of your thoughts on the Facebook page at Ink to Screen, our Facebook page, or email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com for extra help. Now, please don't forget to sign up for the next 5-page short feature challenge happening in December at thescriptmistress.com/ink to screen. And you could be the next one I'm interviewing for next month. The December one does start on the 20th and runs until the 24th. I know this cutting it close to Christmas, but what a great way to kind of create something new before we head into the holidays. So I hope you'll consider signing up for that. I'm really excited. The last one for 2023. Let's end this year great. And thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Your feedback means the world to me. If you have any podcast ideas that you think might help you besides my interviews, please feel free to email me at amber@thescriptmistress.com. And I actually have another interview next week. I'm really excited. I'm interviewing the writer of the play that I just performed here at my community theater in Watertown, South Dakota, the Birthday Club. Yes, I just performed that 2 months and then ran it for a week. It was amazing. I reached out to the writer and he was more than happy to come on my podcast and talk about his writing for the stage. I know it's a little bit different than screen, but I think it is a great segue to things as we're getting our work performed. It's totally different than novel writing and prose writing because we actually get to see our work performed. We get to see it translated onto the screen or onto the stage. And I think it is so important to bring writers that understand that medium and bring them on here. So I hope you really enjoy next week's podcast as well. So don't forget to like and follow this page wherever you're listening or watching so you can catch that next episode next week. Happy writing and talk to you soon. Thank you.